Hello, it's Matt, and you're probably wondering, this isn't the right background. It actually is. I'm actually on holiday at the moment, or well, extended weekend away in Tunbridge Wells, because about 5 minutes in that direction, you can't see, but it's that direction, is the Spa Valley Railway, which I had a lot of ride-ons on Saturday. And yesterday, being Sunday, unfortunately, the one friend who was going to come and do some more stuff with had some issues with fuel. At the moment, there's some sort of panic buying going on with fuel, so he wasn't available. So instead, I actually went off to Brighton and visited the Brighton Lego store. So I've actually been to Brighton now. I forgot my store passport, so I don't have the store stamp, and I also forgot to get them to do a store stamp on a spare page or something, and also complete it. So I'll have to email the store and sort of see, can I ship my passport off, can you stamp it and send it back? So who knows. But yeah, it's a Monday. It's about 7:30ish, and it's also raining, which I was not expecting. So realistically, it is sort of just a bit of filler. But there are some things I want to discuss. So next weekend, which is going to be the 1st of October, it's come around quick, is a show called Bricklinks in Lincoln. So I'll actually be going to do that. So the way I'm going to get there is a bit of a convoluted method. So Richard Carter, who was actually in charge of LNUR, is displaying there, but he doesn't actually have any transport. So the way it's currently working is that I'm going to Birmingham, I'm then catching a coach from Birmingham to Leicester, and then picking up Richard and his layout in somewhere in Leicester, or the Leicestershire area, then driving to Lincoln with it all. So I'm probably going to be subjected to some weird noises and a lot of drivel from Mr. Carter. I say this all being in jest, although I hope he isn't going to be making farm noises, which he did on the trip when we were doing RailX 2019, as Will know. So yeah, so there's a couple of things in the pipeline in terms of other bits and pieces. In terms of the layout, because obviously this is a big one, because obviously it's not really seen, it's always something I'm tinkering with in the background but not doing a lot on. There's been a couple of scheme changes, if you like, where you've got the level crossing. I'm actually updating that to use 8x16 tiles for the central section, because currently it's using 2x4 balls in dark bluish grey, so I'll be able to strip them off, replace it with some 8x16 tiles, and then the section that was going to be part of the runaround loop, that was going to be flanked by a building outside, is now going to actually have a concrete pad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to coat like the area in 8x16 tiles for the centre bit of the track, and then I'm going to do the bits of the track as well. The reason being is that doing that means that I can then have buildings either side of the track and use that concreted area for access. Doesn't mean it's going to be a road, but it does mean there's some sort of like street running-y sort of appeal to the layout, which are obviously something a bit different. And obviously that anything that's different, I mean, it's already American, and most Lego train layouts in the UK are British, if not all of them, as far as I'm aware. Plus it's American, it's got street running, it's got a mix of electrics and diesel. I do want to build some steam engines that are suitable for it, but also they're on hold at the moment. Hopefully you'll possibly see some coming out soon. But yeah, there's a few other bits and pieces. I'm very slowly building the police station modular. So originally I was going to build that with a removable roof, so you could actually see the insides. I'm probably not going to do that, partially because of stability, partially because a lot of the detail might get knocked off. So what I'm probably going to do is build it just as a standalone building on a module. So literally lift the entire thing out of its box and slide it in, because it's just too big to do with anything else. Because the problem I've got is that it's getting knocked around quite a lot already, and it's only a single story in my bedroom, so it's not going to survive the rigours of transport, I think, in that mode. So I'm going to have to completely have it as a completed building, or at least as completely building as possible, because at the moment it's supposed to be, I'm currently planning on it being a minimum of 2 floors. I think 2 floors is probably a decent level, to be honest, and I'll probably stick a nice removable radio mast on top to make it look a little bigger, and obviously then you've got to extended parapet around the top, so you can so although it's only 2 floors in terms of the building, so you've got like the ground level and then the floor above that, you've then got possibly use the roof for some or other, maybe put up a pseudo Batman lamp up there or something, just to tolerate people. But yeah, the warehouse has been a bit of a struggle, because the warehouse is a big building, and I'm trying to limit it to 32 by 32 modules. Now that's a bit of a problem in and of itself, because as a 32 by 32 module, you can't actually fit a lot of warehouse onto it. They're all going to be complete, so it's all going to be, all 3 stories are going to be in the module. They're not going to be removable. I pretty much decided that quite a long while ago, because it's going to be a lot of building that to put shows if it's all in sections. So the current plan, as I've got it, is that to rebuild the end module. So it's just pretty much just a square, plus the part of a pillar on the side that it's actually the edge of the layout. The reason for that being is that doesn't matter effectively. And then what's going to happen with the pillars for the rest of the building is that they're actually going to be mounted on the edge of the module. So the way it was going to be done originally was that there's going to be a separate add-in piece that was going to sit on top of the module, sort of like two studs one side, 2 studs the other side of the module, and go against the edge of the building, and that was actually going to be the outstanding column. So that was just going to be like a 1x2 and 2 1x1s, and then 2 1x2s, and then a 1x2 in the middle, and 2 1x1s, and just do that all the way up. The problem with that is that didn't actually stick to the building very well. It actually sort of bowed out of it, and you can actually see daylight behind it, so it's not a good look. So instead what I'm doing is I'm shifting it 2 studs to the right, and then obviously that can then go there. I can then build the rest of the building as I'd like, and then everything is just shifted over a little bit. And obviously that's probably going to work for the better, because obviously it means then that I'm not having to worry about trying to work out how to do the things. I can just end the wall perfectly normal on the edge of the module, because the next module is going to have a pillar around it, so it's going to look a bit different anyway. So nobody will actually know the difference. Yay! And the best thing is, of course, is that because it's an internal, it's going to, any complexities in terms of fixing it to the inner structure and everything else are going to be right at the edge where the public aren't going to see, because if the public see inside, they're just going to see the interior wall, which is tan, because it's a dual skinned wall, so you've got tan for the interior, dark red for the exterior. So you're obviously going to have that bit of difference, so nobody's really going to know that it's there. And then obviously I've got to redo the top bit where it's got the naming, because it's no longer going to be New Haven, it's going to be Railway Express Agency, so I'm going to have to try and fit that on to the entirety module. The lettering is slightly smaller, so I've shrunk the lettering slightly in terms of the height and width slightly, so I should be able to fit it all on, or at least just fit it on as much as possible, then leave maybe a letter gap, then do the next word, then another gap, then do it that way. Well, obviously that takes time. I'm spending a lot of time doing anything else. almost like the squirrel syndrome is trying to inflict more pain on me, even though it's actually getting stuff done. So for those of you who've been watching the Facebook page, you'll notice that I've been actually building some new Johnny D vehicles. If I was in my home and doing the super duper editing, you can flash the picture of it. But yeah, I've been building some of the Johnny D 1940 International Truck tractor units. So there's one in a blue and white scheme because look nice, and then one in just pure red. And obviously both of those are complete in a sense of the structures there and everything else. There are a few bits and pieces. The red one needs some new parts because the current ones don't fit properly in the scheme. Didn't have all the parts. There's a few of the bits and pieces to tweak as well. There's no wing mirrors on either of them, which is a big thing. The other thing I've been doing is the 1934 Ford sedan, as used by Bonnie and Clyde. So I've actually got that built. There's a couple of, and again, there's some parts on that aren't correct. So so I've had to substitute some parts. So it is physically a complete car. It's just that certain parts aren't the correct colour, certain parts are the wrong part and the wrong colour, so it does make it stand out that they're not right. And obviously that will then just need changing and swapping out when the orders arrive. So I have ordered the parts, they just need to arrive. I can dog them out, turf them into the bins and modify the cars, and etc. Moving on, because I think there's nothing really else to talk in terms of the layout. LSUR stuff. So LSUR, the Lego Southern UK Railway, which is the offshoot of LNUR. That's going quite well. The group kind of had a first show at the Spa Valley, or at least most of the members who are part of Southern were showing there on Levi's layout, so that went okay as far as I'm aware. It was quite a good mix of trains and people. And then obviously the proper time the layout will actually be shown is in January at the Brighton show. I'm not entirely sure whether that's the Brighton Lego show or a Brighton Modern Railway show. But either way, it'll be the first way for the LSUR, so hopefully it'll go okay. Once I know more details, I'll share it out, but at the moment obviously we're just trying to get everything built, get everything together, and obviously seeing some interesting things happening. And obviously I've been contributing to that, so my Trixbricks R104 turnouts, they've had those, because obviously I've now got Brick Tracks turnouts. So obviously I've given them Trixbricks turnouts. They also have base plates, some parts and some other bits and pieces, because it's good to see that we're diversifying in terms of LNUR, so we're actually having sort of like these group efforts, and because it means then that we can actually show off that we're not just us doing individual layouts and pooling together. We can then we're also building complete layouts as members and combining their efforts at shows, or for displays, etc. So it's a good thing for that. I've also built them a steam lorry. So the steam lorry is actually with one of the members at the moment. He's also building the goods shed. So it's a good thing for him to have, because obviously he can then work out the sizes if anything needs tweaking. It is a complete lorry. The only problem with it, in terms of parts, is there's no license plates on it. I did order a tyre for license plates, but then I've built the steam lorry in a different colour scheme to what I've designed it in. So I've designed it in like this pale blue scheme. You can build it in the pale blue, it's just a bit picky in terms of parts. But I've then built another copy in yellow, but I've not got all the parts in yellow, so the only bit that's not in yellow is the front. So what I did was the bottom, it has like some snot at the front, and it uses the 1x1 curved slope brick with the plate off to one side. So I've used those to form the front, but the bottom two are actually in sort of like flame. I think it's like bright yellowy orange or bright orangey yellow, something like that. so they don't match the standard yellow, so they're slightly different. But I've put them at the bottom on the basis that that is where you'd find the firebox for the boiler in the steam lorry, because it's at the front of the lorry. So I've just put it there and gone, and hopefully it will look okay. I mean, it kind of looks okay. You can tell it's a different colour, but obviously that's a nice easy swap. You just literally take the tile off the front, and pieces around, voila. But yeah, so things are going okay. Hopefully the rain will stop for my journey home, because I did want to finish up and then do a bit of shopping before I leave. The train doesn't leave this Tunbridge Wells station until about 10:20, but I kind of want to get to a couple of shops before that, so I'm probably going to leave here about 9, but then go off in the rain, which is something I wasn't expecting. So anyway, I've chatted enough, so that's it from me. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and once I've finished tweaking some videos and editing the videos, I can obviously upload those. So to give you a brief overview, we've got the Alco HH600. The footage is done. I just need to do the narration and then do some splicing in the editing. What else was there? The track, there's a video I'm going to do about track and the quality of track. That's been recorded, so recording the narration, I've got the pictures. Again, it's just a editing issue I just need to slot them in the correct place. I need to do a title card, and then that can get uploaded as well. So it's just a time thing really, and obviously once they're done, then that's some more guns, and you can hear some sound equipped loco. So it's one of only 2 on the in my current roster that's sound equipped. So yeah, so that's it from me. Enjoy your day, and that's it for me, and see you later.